Hey everyone, welcome to my Florida garden. I did a few things, moved a couple things around. I love it. I used to have a big planter right here that was full of wetland plants, including my Orangium integrifolium. Orangium integrifolium is one of my favorite Florida native wetland plants. And it was really tall, like really tall, that it was kind of just looked out of place right here in this part of my garden. So it was heavy because it's a wetland pot. It's full of wet soil and plant. So I got my dolly out of the garage. I brought it out here and I got the pot on it and I hauled it down the walkway here and down the little stone walkway here, and there it sits. Look how tall it is. But back here up against the elephant ears, I mean, look at that. It doesn't stick out so much, it being so tall, and I just love it here. I need to get some more water in it. You can see the Bacopa moneri is looking kind of dried out. So, and look, I still have the tag on the pot and it's facing out front. Isn't that the best? Anyway, I need to put some water in it. I haven't watered it in real good since I moved it, which I did that yesterday. But it really needs a drink. And actually, I probably need to trim it back. And this Bacopa moneri is the host plant to the white peacock butterfly. And it will pop back to life as soon as I get some water in there. So these flowers are just the coolest to me. I just think they're so unique and so pretty. And they really do attract pollinators and butterflies. And I just really like having this very tall plant back here and not right smack out in the middle of my garden. So I have another one that's actually in the ground over in my wetland garden, and it's more blue. Let's go look at that one. And of course, there's a monarch on it, demonstrating the fact that butterflies love it. But you can see that the flowers take on a more bluish tinge, but this is the same plant. So I love it. I love it so much. I just think it is the neatest looking flower. And look how pretty that is. This pollinator agrees. And while we're talking about blue native flowers, oh my goodness. This Hydrolia corymbosia or skyflower is just phenomenal. It is in another one of my wetland pots with my button bush, but this plant has taken off and it's growing like crazy. Pollinators love it. I read on the Florida Wildflower Foundation's website that the flowers don't produce a lot of nectar, so it more attracts bees than butterflies. But I've seen butterflies land on this. It is just incredible, and the flowers are gorgeous, and it's just growing and growing and growing. And I absolutely love this plant. I am so glad I got one of these. And I just wanted to share this with you because it makes a really good planting with the button bush if you were wanting to get one of those, which is not flowering right now, so I can't show you the incredible flowers on the button bush, but I can show you the incredible flowers on the skyflower, and I just love it. But you've got to know it wants a moist setting. So if you have a low area or a swamp in your yard, that'd be great. Otherwise, putting it in a pot with no drain might be the best way to get one of these thriving in your garden. And let me show you, when it first started blooming, I loved the flowers and they were just like on single stalks. But now I think the first flower comes and then others come around it. You can see the little buds, because now I've got these big clusters coming in. I mean, look at that. It's spectacular. Really, 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 really cool plant. Great for a Florida native garden in a wetland setting. Okay, I'm going to stop talking about it now. I'm going to stop talking about it now. We have other things to look at. Next on the list is I completely cleaned up that area there. Remember I planted the one lantana down in that other flower bed, Lantana depressa variety depressa, Florida native lantana that butterflies love. Well, there was one left in that basket, so I planted that right in here. This is actually a wetland garden, but I think it will be fine in there because this garden doesn't really show its color till the fall. It's full of narrow leaf sunflower and Elliott's aster, and there is some cluster bushman in there too that's starting to bloom. So it's really just like a clump of green. But when that takes off, that's going to bring some color in this section that's a year-round bloomer. So I think it's going to be very happy there. And then I also, remember, moved that sunflower to the back of this section to get some color going. And the butterflies are loving it, as usual. So also here, I put these trellises up because the tropical sage that's growing in here was always leaning out into this little walkway. And also there's a lot of Passiflora incense, which is a hybrid of Passiflora incarnata, which is a host plant to the zebra longwings and the Gulf fritillary butterflies. And there's a lot of it growing in here and down here also. So I put these trellises up that I've had just sitting back in my work area all down along here so that the vine can then grow up on them. It used to just grow all over this little, this is where I set some of my potted plants that are ready to go and be sold, but it's empty right now. I mean, I have a few little stragglers here. So I thought, well, that'll be cool because then the vine can grow up the trellises. But when I put it in there, oh my gosh, I love how it looks. I mean, I think it looks really cool like that. So it just totally changed up this whole area. And now I have 2 empty hanging baskets and this empty planter down below. I'm trying to propagate some of the verbena from my other hanging baskets to put in these 2. And, well, let me show you what verbena I'm talking about. This purple verbena here has been going strong all year. I got this like back, maybe was it in February, maybe March? And it's been in these hanging baskets. It has been thriving. Butterflies have been loving it. It's been continuously producing color. I just have to keep trimming it back when it gets straggly, and it just fills in and sends out new blooms. So I've taken some cuttings in, and hopefully I'll be able to get some of that going to put into those 2 empty baskets. See, and here's a look back at that garden space. Doesn't it look so much better? Those of you who've been around for a while, that corner just used to be kind of shabby. And you know, it just takes a little bit of, well, I wonder what will happen if I put this here, and just moving some things around to make little unplanned discoveries of arrangements that you like that you hadn't really thought of. You know, just by putting those little trellises in and getting the vines up from growing over. And now I have a whole new potting area. I don't necessarily love that big plastic urn pot, but I want to get something low growing, maybe something that'll come like over the side. Oh my gosh, you know what I'm thinking? It's not a wetland pot, but man, one of those skyflowers would be beautiful in there. I could easily take all that stuff out of the pot and put a liner in there to make it a wetland pot. Then I have to either, well, I think you can propagate that through cuttings, that skyflower. So I could get another plant growing. It's a thought. Meanwhile, I just think it looks pretty just like that. And I like how you can see back in to the split leaf. I mean, it's like its own little world back in there. Look how pretty it is. And before, this was all blocked, so you could see the split leaves from up above, but like you couldn't look through. Sometimes looking through garden spaces is just as beautiful as looking at them from afar. Isn't that cool in there? And look what's right here. I just noticed. Look, there's some little zebra longwing eggs on the end of that passiflora incense. So speaking of eggs, I brought in some queen caterpillars that were on my little Asclepias incarnata seedlings. And so I've been checking them every day to see if I found any more. And I found one today, another little tiny baby queen. So I brought it in. But also I was looking at one of the other plants, and there's an egg there I do not recognize. Kind of reminds me of Eastern Tiger swallowtail egg, but the color is a little off. And so it's like on milkweed. Who is this? So look at this egg. It's like a blue-green. It's getting the light. Look at that. It's beautiful. I hope whoever's in there hatches so I can find out who it is. I mean, sometimes butterflies mistakenly lay eggs on the wrong plant, but usually if their host plant is like nearby, but there's nothing near this. It's just all sitting right here on one of my little towers. So I'm excited, you guys, to see who's inside the sweet little egg on my milkweed. And here's the baby queen caterpillar that I brought in. Here's the big queens. Look how big they are. I think one of them, I have 4. I have 3 now. There's 2 here. I think one of them went off to pupate already. So these guys will be going soon. So I need to go find another little queen friend for that tiny one. I'll keep looking. Aren't they beautiful? For anyone who's new to my channel, I live in Central Florida. I'm in gardening zone 10A, and I've turned my entire suburban backyard into a butterfly garden. From one end to the other, there is no lawn, no grass. It's a complete ecosystem or ecosystem however you prefer to say it. Mainly for butterflies, but it automatically becomes a pollinator garden simply by existing for butterflies. It's a beautiful, sunny Sunday afternoon. And let me tell you, as hot as it's been here in Florida, yesterday and today, for whatever reason, and I'm so grateful for it, the humidity is significantly lower than normal. I was out in the garden all day yesterday, just doing, just doing lots of little things like trimming and deadheading flowers. And that's when I did all of the work over there. And it just felt glorious to me all day. It's fabulous. And I also want to show you right over here in my obelisk trellises. I cleaned them all up. There was a bunch of Rudbeckia hirta that had grown in there, but then it had died back. And so I cleaned all of that out, and look at my pipe vine growing back. I am so thrilled about this, as you all know. Same with the planter on the other side. Look at all the pipe vine coming back. It's also growing back on the other trellis where I have some over here behind the pentas garden. It's starting to grow back on that trellis too. So I'm so thrilled. I just need it to grow back quickly before the polydamas and pipevine swallowtails lay eggs all over it and they eat it all down again. I have lots of caterpillars living in my garden right now too, in the lepidarium, but also out here in the garden. I have some monarch caterpillars out here in my raised planter on Asclepias incarnata, which is swamp milkweed, Florida native milkweed, the one I rely on the most for the monarch butterflies and the queens. Here's another beautiful monarch caterpillar on the same plant. It's looking pretty scrappy, this plant is. It's trying to grow back from the first round of monarch caterpillars munching on it. Here's another little one right here. Here's a little polydamas swallowtail caterpillar growing on the pipe vine in my pipe vine planters that I have outside my garden room that are slowly recovering from the first round. But look at, there's eggs all over it. The red eggs are pipe vine swallowtail eggs, and then the yellow eggs below are polydamas swallowtail eggs. My parsley and rue are loaded with eastern black swallowtail eggs. And you know, I've been showing you those females. There's been 3 different ones now that I've seen, and they're just out here every day laying eggs, but I haven't seen them at all today, which I find kind of funny because they've been here every day. Maybe they're taking their Sunday afternoon nap. Here is a pretty big Gulf fritillary caterpillar on my passiflora incense. You can see there are munch marks all over this. There's a baby Gulf fritillary caterpillar. There's an Atala caterpillar on my Kunti plant. There's another one right under here. Oh my, there's a lot. Look at them all. Look at all these guys down here. Oh yay, this is so good to see, you guys. This is so good to see. Oh, look at them all. Here's some zebra longwing caterpillars, also on passiflora incense. This is Florida's state butterfly. Here's a sulfur caterpillar on my privet senna. And now I'm gonna go do what I always do at this time of day. On a day that doesn't rain, I'm gonna go water my garden. Takes me about an hour, and I mostly focus on the potted plants. The Florida natives that are in the ground, they're used to this, which is why it's so great to plant native, because you don't have to worry about watering them because they know how to live in Florida, in Florida's climate. But I have a lot of potted plants in the garden that need a drink. So I'm going to go do that and I'll be back later. Okay, so I'm out here watering and I'll look over here. I've got these two little planters right here and I'm looking at a monarch caterpillar. Do you see him? I don't even know what he's on. What is he on? Let's go see. Okay, there's twinevine growing in one of the pots I have in here. In the back corner, I guess I forgot I had set it back there. Isn't that fabulous? So I just kind of coiled that all up and put him down lower so he's closer to more leaves. The monks of twinevine is in the milkweed family and they can host on it. And queens will also. So that's pretty fabulous. All right, going back to watering. Okay, I'm still watering. But I have some potted spice bush plants right down here underneath my roof. And right over there is this Clapius incarnata where I found that egg. So it could be a spice bush swallowtail egg, possibly, maybe, perhaps. Still watering. I forgot to show you this. When I showed you the lantana depressa that I planted here in the corner of my wetland garden, I also stuck a little seedling, Mexican sunflower seedling in there too. Get one of those coming up in here will be fabulous addition of color because you can see in the back there. Butterflies do love those Mexican sunflowers. This end of the garden is all watered in. Hey, it's Monday morning and let me show you something. I was just coming over here, turned my hose on, and there was a monarch caterpillar crawling on the nozzle. Then I looked over here and I've got these two, a queen and a monarch. I don't even know how this queen is out here that I haven't found it. But they're both, you know, munching on the same stem and there's not much left. So this is why I grow the twine vine. And look, I see another one. Hang on. See, here's a monarch wandering off on the mountain mint. Those are the neighbor dogs playing. And it's looking for more milkweed too. So I'm gonna move all these guys. Oh my gosh, here's another one. Here's another one in here. You know what? Where are you? You know what? Maybe I should plant some twine vine in this raised bed. So I'm gonna move all these guys and see if there's any more. Actually, onto my twine vine. Maybe I'll move some of the twine vine bottles into here. Let's do that. That way if there's anyone else, they can find it. Okay, so this is the little guy that was on the hose, and he's now on this bottled twine vine. Look at all the roots. It's all rooted in there. But you know what else I have over here? I have these two little planters that I rooted twinevine in, so maybe I'll plant those in the lepidarium. I think I'm going to do that. Let's do that. So I'm going to temporarily set this in the garden room. I'm going to go move those other caterpillars onto it to get them out of the way while I'm planting the twinevine in there. And if you're wondering, well, why aren't you just bringing those caterpillars in? Because these caterpillars have been in my garden, and if they're going to eat clothes with OE, I don't want to see it. They've made it this far, so hopefully they'll be fine. But the queen, I'll probably bring in. Look at the cute little face. Okay, so I got all the caterpillars that I found. And when I go down into here, there is a nice rectangular space right there where there is nothing planted that I can easily place one of those little pots. I guess that's what we could call it, a pot. It's not really a pot, but a little planter of twinevine. And we just kind of carve out a space for it and plop it down in there. Oh, this smells so good in here. Let me tell you, this mountain mint, it's good. So before I put this in there, I just want to, look, there's some Bacopa moneri growing in there. We'll just leave that. We'll just leave that. Look at the roots. So I'll break all those off and then pluck it out. Okay, here we go. It's beautiful. We're just going to nestle it down in there. Just kind of press it in a little bit. Smooth out the edges. And there's one. Okay, let me find where I'm going to put the other one. Yep, I can fit it right in there. There's a little sulfur out here. There's a couple on the privet senna. I think she's trying to lay eggs. Yep, laying eggs. I'm just going to go stick the hose in and give that a good watering. And then I'll move these guys back in there. Or should I just put them in the lepidarium? It would give me a chance to see how OE-ish everybody is out in the garden. Because usually when I bring in monarchs, I like to bring them in as eggs so I can supervise everything they get. Make sure the milkweed has been grown untouched by female monarchs that could scatter the OE spores on it, bleach the eggs, or oh gosh, hypochlorous acid, everything. You know the drill. But I don't know, maybe I'll put these guys in just to do a check-in, see how they're doing. Now I'm going to head back in behind here. And let me tell you, this has been spider web haven. You know what? I think I'm going to go on the outside of the garden. On the fence back there, I have twinevine growing in and amongst the passiflora insects. I think I'm going to go out there. It's going to be blazing hot. I'm going to run out there and grab a bunch of cuttings and get them going again so I have more. sometimes I'll find it coming up on the shade side. So here, that's not it, but this is. And look at how big some of the leaves are. So I'm gonna look this up. And the thing is trying to pull it out without the leaves shedding off. Just like a gentle tug. Look how much there is. Wow, this is fabulous. I don't have to go out in the sun. Come on, let go. It's splitting off over here and over here. What are you? Oh, it's really, look how much it's wrapped around that stem. Let me see if I can unravel it. Oh yeah, because it's going up. Oh look, it's going up, 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 up. Look at it. It's all the way up there into the oak tree. Oh my gosh, this is a fabulous twinevine haul. Look at how big the leaves are. Okay, I'm gonna go yank all this out. Okay, you guys, look at him looking down here. Noticing, yes, there's this weed, but look at that. Who is that? Who are you? You look tropical in nature. Huh. I might come back and dig this up and put it in a pot, or just leave it and keep an eye on it and see who it's going to become. One really cool thing about collecting twinevine is you can make multiple cuts down the vine and stick it in the glass. So I'm going to make a cut there, and then I'll probably make another one down here. And I don't know if I'll do another one because there's not a lot of leaves on that stem. And I'll put them both in. And I want to show you something real quick. You see that on my finger? That's the milk from Milkweed. And if I were to touch my eye with that finger, I could go blind because it is toxic. So when you're working with milkweed, taking cuttings of it or anything, wear gloves or be super mindful of not touching your face, and immediately when you're done, go wash your hands with soap and water and get it all off. Okay, back to trimming. So look at this beautiful vase of twinevine I have collected. And I didn't have to go out in the heat. I was back here in the shade just finding it coming up and growing in my Bahama senna, my claiming aster, my privet senna, and my butterfly pea. That was pretty fabulous. So I'm just gonna, hey Ray, take this in and put it right in the lepidarium for everybody to eat. But this will root also, and that's fabulous. I love having twinevine as my backup milkweed. Okay, I just went in and washed my hands. I've got some people moved on to those new cuttings I just brought in. And then this is with all these guys. So, whew, we're all set. Okay, so the video's not over yet. Look at this. I'm out in my garden, and there's a coontie down here that's been stripped clean. And look, those are Atala chrysalides. There have been Atala caterpillars over here on this coontie. Oh my goodness, how fabulous. Yahoo! That's a fabulous way to end this video.
Look, there's some chrysalides hanging here too. Oh my gosh. I love it.